How's it going, boys? The Trickums here. Today I will be bringing you all a series of videos with the future changes to all of the weapons abilities and the perk associated with these abilities. The reason I'm doing this is because given that there's not enough people playing in the PTR, I doubt that the developers will have enough information to fix these things before it goes to live. The perks that need to be buffed, the perks that needs to be nerfed, and the perks that are not working at all. Without any further ado, let's start this. The second weapon we're going to cover is the Ice Gauntlet. The first ability we're going to be talking about is going to be Wind Chill, and the perk associated with this ability is Unbroken Winds. Wind Chill has grit and deals 39% more damage. Gain 10% mana after a full Wind Chill burst. First, I'm going to show you the damage without this perk in the weapon. And as you guys can see, it's doing 441 damage in the last 2 meters and 310 damage in the first 5 meters. Now I'm going to show you the damage with this perk in the weapon. Now we're doing 548 damage in the last 2 meters and 399 in the first 5 meters. As you guys can see, the damage differential is actually pretty big. Wind Chill is actually going to be very good, dealing almost up to 7,000 damage with just one singular Wind Chill on somebody with no armor. Now let's talk about the grid. As you guys can see here, this guy is going to be hitting me with Wrecking Ball, and you will see that I'm completely immune to the Wrecking Ball. Next, we're gonna use it with Path of Destiny, and I will also be immune to Path of Destiny completely due to that amazing grid. Now, the last ability we're going to test it with, this is Shockwave, and Shockwave should actually stop it because Shockwave is a full stun CC, but unfortunately right now it's bugged, and even though if you get Shockwave or Vault Kick or anything that is a stun, the Wind Chill will continue to go on, keep on doing damage and pushing the enemy back. Now, this is a bug that needs to be fixed. Abilities like Shockwave or Vault Kick should immediately cancel the Wind Chill. But now also we're running into another issue that whenever they using this hard CC on us, like the Shockwave or the Vault Kick, we are stuck in a Wind Chill animation that sometimes the only way to get rid of it is by getting fully killed or completely relogging out of the game. The next ability we're going to be talking about is going to be Ice Spike, and the perk associated with this ability is Ice Refresh. A killing blow with the Ice Spike's Mighty Spike or Spiky Reach will reduce all ice cooldowns by 74%. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Blizzard and pick the Wind Chill so I can show you guys exactly what I mean. I'm going to go ahead and use Blizzard right here. As you guys can see, Blizzard has 19-second cooldown and the Wind Chill has a 14-second cooldown. And whenever I land this kill, both these abilities, they went down to 0 and the Ice Spike went to like a second and a half to second cooldown. Now, what it means by 74% cooldown, it actually reduces all your ice abilities by 74%. So if your ability is below the 74% cooldown mark, the ability will go down immediately to 0 cooldown. If the ability was used and is not below the 74% cooldown mark, then it will go down to whatever seconds are remaining. Like there, I used the Blizzard and immediately killed the Ram, and you guys can see the Blizzard, instead of going to 0-second cooldown, it went to actually 4-second cooldown, because by killing the Ram, it reduced 74% of the cooldown's ability, and since it was still, on full cooldown on all 100%, the ability, instead of going to 0, it went to like a 25%, remaining cooldown, 25, 26. As you guys saw there, I used the Blizzard. It's already below that 74% mark, so whenever I kill it, boom, the ability goes down to 0. The next ability we're going to be talking about is going to be Ice Storm, and the perk associated with Ice Storm is Unending Thaw. Ice Storm deals 10% more damage. The frost effect remains on the enemies for 2 seconds after exiting the storm. First, I'm going to show you the damage without the perk on the weapon, and as you can see, it's doing 255 damage per tick. Now we're going to switch into Unending Thaw on the weapon, and it goes from 255 to 274. Now the damage differential is not that big, but you guys gotta remember that the blizzard deals more damage per enemy inside of the blizzard. So that extra 10% is basically adding in, you know, another enemy into the clump. I wouldn't recommend unending thought on the weapon unless you only use the Ice Gauntlet as a support weapon, and then you can use the crystalline curse, which already has unending thought on the weapon. The next ability we're going to talk about is Ice Shower, and the perk associated with this ability is Deadly Frost. When the Frigid Shower's upgrade is active, Ice Shower Frostbite debuff will deal 8% weapon damage per second to affected enemies. Ice Shower's cooldown reduced by 14%. Now, there's something that I noticed here that I want to talk to you guys about. So as I'm gonna use the Ice Shower over here without the perk on the weapon, and as you guys can see, the cooldown of the ability was almost 29 seconds. Yet the tooltip over here, whenever you go into your ability, it says that the cooldown is 24 seconds. Now the cooldown was 24 seconds after getting that 14% cooldown reduction, going from like 28 down to 24, like 24.1. But I was a little confused because even though that still says 24.1, and after I use it, you guys can see that it's actually 28 seconds when used without the perk. But if you use the weapon with the perk on it, the cooldown will actually go down to 24%. So this was a little confusing to me. This is something that needs to be fixed because the tooltip, like I said, for the Ice Shower is showing 24.1 seconds across the bar. Maybe this is because I got a couple of refreshing pieces on me, but still, whenever you use Ice Shower without the perk, the cooldown that the tooltip says it's wrong. It's not the actual cooldown of the ability. Here I'm gonna switch back to the perk on the weapon, and you guys are going to see that it's actually 24 second cooldowns. Immediately was 23 because obviously, you know, 24.0 the moment that you use it goes out to 23. It's just a little misleading visual bug that needs to be fixed. The next ability we're going to be talking about is the Ice Pylon, and the perk associated with this ability is Pylon Burst. Ice Pylon deals 9.8% more damage and a burst of damage to foes within a 3-meter radius whenever it fires a projectile. Here I'm showing you guys a Pylon without the Pylon Burst. Is doing a 95 per shot, and if you dodge, you're going to do that increased attack speed and attack reset. On the next patch, that attack reset is going to be moved away, and they're actually going to give it a cooldown. That way you don't dodge, and make the Pylon attack like a crazy speed, like papa, papa, papa. So yeah, they're removing that on the next patch, giving it a cooldown. That way you don't reset the attack constantly. Here now I'm going to show you guys with the Pylon Burst, and as you guys can see, the damage went from 895 to 960 per basic attack, and look at that beautiful burst around, dealing 595 damage to every single target 3-meter radius around that pylon, and also slowing the enemies. That burst around the pylon, it works as if it was a melee attack from one of the melee weapons, slowing down the movements of anybody that gets struck by it. So you can play around that in both PvP and PvE. When the enemy is walking around the pylon and that explosion deals damage to them, they will get slow, therefore giving you a chance to escape. This is very good for both PvP and PvE. The next ability we're going to talk about is Entomb, and the perk associated with this ability is Healing Tomb. Heal for 29% of your base health after Entomb ends. Now this perk, it went through some major changes, and 3 of them actually. So you guys saw there, whenever I exited that Entomb, it healed me for 1700 HP. Now that was with only 6000 or 7000 HP, which is basically the minimum. Here I put every single piece of armor with Constitution on me. Now I have 16,000 health, and as you guys saw, it healed me for the same amount. Once again, here we go, it's going to heal me for 1700 regardless of the health. Now, one of the biggest changes that this perk went through is that you no longer need to be full mana in order for the perk to heal you. That is the first thing. The second thing is, now you can break the pylon, you can break the Entomb by any way, either with a dodge, with the right click, or even breaking it with left click and getting that 25% damage reduction, and also getting the healing. The only thing that I noticed is that whenever you break the ice Entomb with the left click, it takes about 3 seconds for that ability to heal you. And the last change that it went through, which is for me the most important of them all, is that now it heals you for your base health. And that's what I showed you guys before. Regardless of what amount of health you got, even if you got 5,000 health, it will heal you for 1,700. If you have 20,000 health, it will still heal you for 1,700. Unless you have also, you know, divine on your amulet, and then it will heal you for a little bit more. I think this is actually a nerf in a way, because the healing has been greatly reduced, but at the same time now we are able to break the Entomb each way we want, you know, and usually we're going to do it with the left click, because we're going to get that 25% increased defenses. We also going to get the health back, and we no longer have to use it while our mana is full. So it's good and it's bad. It's good because now it gives us more versatility on how to use this. It's bad because it's not going to be healing us as much as we wanted it to. And that's about it for the Ice Gauntlet, boys. We cover all the 6 perks. Not many changes going on with the Ice Gauntlet. Just, you know, some abilities do a little bit more damage. Some abilities have reduced cooldown. The big changes for the Ice Gauntlet was definitely the Wind Chill. The Wind Chill is now going to be a force to reckon with, both in PvP and PvE. That is crazy damage that it's doing, plus the grid that it gets. You're basically immune for like 4 or 5 seconds, giving you the opportunity to make some crazy moves, you know, dodging and getting rid of all of those CCs that will otherwise hit you. And the other big change was for the Entomb, that now it gets base health instead of total health. But now we can break it with a left click, get a little bit of health, and also get the damage reduction. The only big thing that they need to fix about that is that 3-second delay when we break it out of it to get the health. But well, yeah, that's it, boys. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. This is the second video of the series. The first one was the Fire Staff, the second was the Ice Gauntlet, and the next one is going to be the Void Gauntlet. I'm going to finish all of the magic weapons before I move into the melee weapons, and then last I will do all of the ranged weapons. If you guys have any question about builds, New World related, just go ahead and go into the stream. I stream every day from 3 p.m. EST all the way up to midnight, so you guys can jump in there and ask me any question. I will more than gladly you know, answer anything that you guys have in mind. Well, anyways, boys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.